You freaking
and
hoe.
that camera just died. Hi, we're here.
4 minutes of content lost.
You guys, guess what?
She forgot to hit record.
We forgot to hit record.
I was too busy making candy. I didn't even notice.
Here we go.
Take 2.
You know what this is.
What did you have? What color are your underwear?
Shit Show Express is leaving in the station.
Inappropriate.
It's your trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic from good old Utah.
Fuck. Danielle, I'm starting to feel this shit. I was. My favorite
Hard talks.
Seduction.
Seduction.
Where the talks are really hard.
I love his
I thought
voice.
this was flaccid talks.
His
This
laugh.
sounds deep.
Sounds really deep.
Ring. This is hard
Your
talks.
vagina is calling.
Hard talks.
Hard talks. You're listening to Hard Talks with a blonde and a hippie.
Here we are.
Goodbye. Hard talk abduction.
Love him.
That was a good take too. There was more enthusiasm that time around.
Yeah, I wasn't like making candy this time, so I could get into it.
Sarah's been in this new kick of every time she comes over to my house because we made candy for the candy party episode for New Year's Eve. Now she just want to make bracelets every time she comes over here.
I'm
So,
living for it. What the
I'm down
hell?
for
Look
it.
at that.
I'm down for it.
They forgot to break it apart.
Oh, you could cut it. See, well, the hole probably doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Just like most people don't think there's a third hole in a vagina, it does exist. That being said, you're listening to Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie. I'm your trippy hippie Alicia, jumping on the mic from good old Utah. I'm joined today with my beautiful co-host,
Your favorite blonde. Sorry, I got really into this, putting the speed on. Sarah. I need Chris to say my name
Sarah.
so he can have it for me because that would make my giblets tingly.
Just the giblets.
I mean, have you heard his voice? Ugh.
If you guys are listening to this, we've made it into a new year. Fresh start. Season 2 of Hard Talks. We're getting a new computer soon. Films, media. We're filming now, but you guys can't see it or watch it yet. But
Watch me make candy peeps. I'm into it in my double chin.
she's into it. I could say anything to Sarah at some point, and
I probably would.
yep, over
I'd
her
miss
head,
it.
over her head. But if you're listening to this, you've made it to another weekend, and congratulations. I want to tell you guys that I see you guys for all the hard work and the grind that you were putting in, and I just applaud you for
I like
making
that
it to
button.
another day, another year, and another new opportunity to start anew, you know? Oh,
Long pause.
that being said, too, because that's my catchphrase, people have told me. That being said, or all that said, or what was the other one?
Yeah, I don't know. You do say that a lot, don't you?
I do. I do a lot, too. But this is an 18 and up show. Notice I throw that into the very beginning because I have just sucked. I know Eileen from Elmwood, Minnesota. I appreciate you listening. Mwah, mwah. You're great for listening. But I have just been forgetting it. I'm sorry. It's an 18 and up show because we do talk all things controversial, difficult, wildly inappropriate, and taboo in the sense that you would not have any of these conversations at your workplace or with your grandma unless she's awesome like mine. Or
Your grandma. I love your grandma.
I know. She promotes the shit out of us. I love her so
She's
much.
so cute.
But that too, we curse like sailors. And I can't say it enough. You know, our kids are our kids, and they're, you know, they've been fucked since the very beginning.
I mean, my poor child, she already knows like swear words from the womb.
Well, yep, Auntie A. Sorry, girl. But I just don't want to be responsible for your small, wee, innocent, sweet little darlings saying fucking goddamn, okay? Thank you, Eileen, for listening. Appreciate
love
you.
you.
Love you.
I I'm like really into this and I'm almost out of letters. Oh, shit. I only have 2 A's. How many A's do I need?
I think 3.
Oh,
For
damn
Hard
it.
Talks podcast.
Let me just find one more. I want to make one more bracelet and then I'll be done.
You know, I totally underestimated Sarah's ability to make these, and she sat down during that episode. We were a little distracted during that, but, you know.
I mean, who knows what the hell we talked about?
I don't. I still don't. We just put it out, so it may have made not any sense, but whatever. We needed to fill that 51st episode slot. It's good. We're good. We're making candy.
I'm here for it.
But
I just need one more A.
now I'm just like down for making candy because she's a little machine. And I even said, I was like, if we get enough of these made, if I have enough hands to make enough candy, I'll start selling them on our website.
I just can't have the baby.
No, she'd be too distracted or
Oh,
on the boob.
When I have her, I don't get shit done.
How is the baby, Sarah? What's new with the baby?
I love her. She's so funny. So I lay her on my bed to take a shower. Just like laying her on the bed because like sometimes she'll be asleep and I'll just kind of leave her there, but she'll wake up. And
Does she still ogle you?
Yeah. She goes like this. If you can see me on the camera, she goes
with her face.
With her face, she scrunches
her nose up,
and her little gums hang out, and it's adorable. I don't know how she got that. And then she started.
The way you described it though was kind of scary.
Yeah, she does. She goes. And she like started snorting. And I'm like, what the hell? But she gargled her spit one day. I'm like, what? And I'm like, is she gargling her spit? And Jason's like, yeah. I'm like, how? What?
Well, I mean, a lot of babies blow bubbles.
She blows bubbles. Oh. I keep thinking these V's are A's.
I need to start taking better care of my body. I really do. I need to hydrate better.
You need iron.
Now that we're in a new year, you know what? I didn't want to set any big resolutions on purpose because
Take your iron.
I hate like not meeting my own expectations. You know what I mean? And so
what happened to all that little like you used to have like that little like hi Alicia pills?
Well, they're expensive.
Oh.
I'm self-employed. I'm my own boss now. So I can't have all the nice subscriptions and the care of vitamin packs that I love so much.
Guess what I just found?
An A. Good job.
Last bracelet. Okay.
Good job.
You need to take your iron.
Yeah, I do need to. So that's going to be the one resolution I do make
Resolutions
for
are
myself.
hard, though, because we always make a resolution, but I'm a lazy-ass person.
Well, and like I said in the very
what?
beginning, I was like, I just don't like setting them for myself anymore, and then like feeling let
like
down.
A failure.
Yeah, like I don't think it's fair to set those like major expectations on yourself. Just like do the best you can, put your best foot forward every day to make the next day easier, whatever that may be.
Yeah, because if you put like too much into it, you're just like, and you fail, you're just gonna be like, and then it's just bad all around.
That grind will pay off. You know what I mean? Everything you're working towards will come to you if you're just doing your thing. You know what I mean?
You're fine.
So also, since we're still tangenting before we jump into like what I wanted to bring up, setting boundaries and blocking people, because sometimes you got to do that.
It's true.
It's true. Ice. Mine's all melted.
And I have a water in my car.
I'm going to have to pee in 5 seconds. I'm surprised you haven't, because you have the bladder of a squirrel.
When I was pregnant, I did, but not anymore.
No, it's gone back to normal size.
I can hold
I guess
it pretty good.
it's not that it shrinks. It's just all your other organs and the baby's pressing up on it, huh? Yeah.
Because like her head, like it's a capella. I mean, push it. Or her head was already halfway up by the time she came out.
This story is for Angel, because more weird shit's been happening around here last night specifically.
Oh shit. After like this fell?
Yeah, so when you guys do see the film versions of this, our Hard Talk sign literally just like binked off a wall, and Sarah tries to rationalize and be like, well, it's on a pin. And I'm like, it literally has a metal ledge that,
Do you like that?
and the pin was still intact in the wall. Yes, I really like that bracelet.
Black and white and have a couple gold pieces. You're welcome.
You're the best. We'll take a picture of it when
I made some
Post
good
it.
ass candy, people.
good ass
First
candy.
time making candy. I was all nervous for like color schemes, and it just like came to me.
It just comes to you. It just
Anyway,
flows.
So what happened last night?
So I was listening back to one of our episodes, and I had my Beats headphones on, and I was upstairs in my room. My laptop was down on my kitchen counter. The 9-year-old MacBook still functions. Doesn't work, but it functions. So
9 years
anyways,
old.
I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden, like, Adele starts singing in the background of our track. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm thinking, like, oh, maybe my Apple came on Bluetooth on my phone when we were recording. So I thought we were fucked. I thought I was going to have to delete that whole, like, conversation out. So I run downstairs, and it wasn't even in the software program that we used to edit. Like, that was still playing, but Apple had just popped up on my computer and started playing Adele.
Oh, perfect.
What is I can't remember the title, but it's like
Adele.
Hello from the Other Side, that song. Yeah.
Killed that. I got the chills. Nice.
Yeah. And then last night, after I get Elliot out of the bath, because poor baby's been feeling a little sick, get him out of the bath.
The influenza going around.
It's been rough. I hate it when he's sick. I just want to take away his pain. And
it's when they're little, it's hard when they're
and especially
sick.
when they're tiny, like they can't express to you how they feel. So they're just miserable and
cry.
Poor babies. But anyways, I get him out of the bath and I go into the kitchen to get some water before I go to bed. And there's like milk dripping out of my fucking fridge. And I was like, what the fuck? And I open the door and it's like dripping from the shelf because I keep it in the door. And this is a brand new
Gallon of milk,
but it like expanded. Like the gallon expanded so much so that it cracked the bottom.
What the heck?
And I was like, what is going on? I don't want to go into this new year with like, what are you trying to tell me, girlfriend? What are you trying to tell me?
Don't spill the milk.
Oh, I guess not. So, yeah, you're welcome, Angel. He's really never going to come over here to record, but joke's on him. He'll be
have
here
nowhere
every
else.
5 weeks. He's really doesn't like ghosties, but it's just that. Yeah, I think that was the weirdest thing so far because I was like, but aside my silverware disappearing, yeah. Anyways, rationalize that later.
I mean, it's fine. Let it happen.
No, I just had to like tell y'all that since it just happened and it's fresh on the brain. I even have the gallon of milk in the trash bag on my porch. I saved it to show you after.
I believe you.
Because it was like ballooned. Like the whole carton was just like, and I bought it 2 days ago.
That's weird.
It was weird. It was normal when I bought it. It was normal when I bought it. What if it wasn't fucking Zool? I am the keeper, like from Ghostbusters, the fucking demon that lives in her fridge.
That's what you have.
I really hope not. Knock on wood. This is a plastic table.
Your head's made out
Fuck
of wood.
off. Anyway, yeah, weird shit. Weird shit.
It happens.
I don't know. Probably to more people than they'd like to admit.
Yeah.
Because I know you've had a lot of weird shit happen since being with Chase.
Oh my God, he's a freaking like
Magnet.
Yeah.
For
I don't know.
supernatural.
Yeah, I don't know how, but
I don't know.
I don't hear it. And I'm like, what?
It is weird. It is weird. Oh, I'm not used to wearing earrings, so when I put my headphones on, I don't like the feeling.
I know when I wear
them.
my big hoops, I'm like, I have to like kind of put it off my ear a little bit because I'm like, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or like my bun I have, and I have to have like have it more forward because my bun's hitting it.
Yeah. So I'll just jump into this really quick. Have you ever had a friendship or, a relationship where, you kind of felt like it was one-sided or, communication wasn't strong and there were never any boundaries or, expectations? No, that's the wrong word. Let me rephrase. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to block somebody?
Yeah. What, 5 years ago? Me and Chase have been together for 6. 5 years ago, there was another guy I was talking to.
Uh-oh.
And
one of her backups.
Yeah, we would Snapchat each other. And
Ooh, Snapchat. That's when it was grimy.
Yeah, right. That's when it was like, just like a 5-second video. But he
slippage.
He sent a nude, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, not okay. I'm with Chase now. Like, this is getting weird. Like, no, like, let's not. And then we ended up blocking each other.
Oh, okay. So, well,
I was like, ugh.
I've obviously like blocked.
And Chase like hates him.
Blocked ex-husband and like ex or past relationships, but I think that was more out of anger and spite, not necessarily because
ours was like, okay, this is getting too weird. We need to stop communicating. Let's, not cause more problems than there are.
Yeah. Well, that's also like a boundary of loyalty, I suppose, because you were in a committed relationship at that point. But
we were getting there, yes.
I think a lot of people forget that even friendships are relationships, and they still require a lot of maintenance and a lot of water to grow. And if you want a, healthy friendship or any relationship, I think boundaries are necessary sometimes to set in place. And that's something I learned in 2021 is my needs would always be put on the back burner. Or, I'm also a mom. So Elliot's needs always come first, no matter what. I'm not griping about that. I'm just saying.
No, because when you become a mom, you have to realize you have to go on their schedule.
Yep. And
it's their schedule, not your schedule
first.
Anymore.
Yeah. And so I think I put myself on the back burner with all relationships, though. And
you do that with anyone, though.
Yeah, that gets exhausting. I'm a giver, and I see the best in people, and sometimes that bites me in the butt. And
that was a yawn.
or a burp.
It was like that, like when you yawn too hard, like a little air comes out.
We'll have to make a burp reel because we have enough of those. We
From
do.
me?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be honest. I yawn and it's like,
or your sounds. Just Sarah.
I have my weird
just a Sarah reel.
You need like the Sarah sound.
Too bad you don't eat pussy.
Oh my God.
Cheers. Hey, it is a new year.
I don't know. I can't even look at my own at this point. I thought about that. Have you thought about that? Like, could you go down on a woman?
Yeah.
I don't think I could.
I think I could.
I couldn't.
I think at this point in my life.
I'm blushing. I couldn't. Like, I can't look at my own vagina without getting weirded out.
When's the last time you looked at yourself naked? That sounds so weird, but I seriously.
This morning, I took a shower.
I check myself out in the mirror naked every time I get out of the shower. I make a point to, because I think, you gotta love yourself more than anybody else, because that's a part of setting fucking boundaries.
When I wear clothes, like when I put clothes on, like my underwear, I like check myself out in my underwear or something, or like I don't like look at my vagina. Like I can't. Like, it just weirds me out. I'm like, Bailey, like, see if it's normal.
I think for me, like, when I say boundary too, it doesn't have to be like a hard fucking line in the sand. Like, good example from me is like, if I have plans and someone else like who I may be seeing, or because I easily get consumed by the men that I'm seeing, I know that about myself. I'm very self-aware, but
you need to be like, you have to be self-aware.
I'll have plans with other people and I'll cancel them to accommodate to this other person. And that's not cool. Like, that's a boundary that I've had to like set for myself. You know what I mean? And also, like, podcasting is another good example. If I have shit to do, this is where I'm at. That is like my new rule of thumb going into this year. And we also have our super duper anal organized manager who we love so much.
That's for true.
But
if you need shit done, call her.
Just like making yourself a priority over, other people that you can. It's important, and that's hard sometimes, and it's also hard to recognize as well. Or it can be, because especially in like new relationships, if it is a romantic one, you're kind of blinded by that honeymoon phase and how great they are.
You just want to be together forever.
Yeah, and even if it's
you forget anyone else is around you, but the person that you're in love with.
Yeah, so you are blinded, and it's all rainbows and sunshine. And even if it's not rainbows and sunshine, like, you could still like be sticking in that situation because you are stuck on the idea or the potential that this said person has, not what's going on in the actual moment. You know what I mean? So I feel like
you found the one when little shit doesn't bug you.
Yeah, I mean, you know when it flows well too. You know when you vibe on the same frequency.
Yes.
Because it's easy, you know, it shouldn't be difficult to be honest about our needs and wants and thoughts in every individual relationship that we have. It shouldn't be so difficult to set those boundaries in place, but for some reason it is very difficult to be transparent, and I suppose that's what I'm trying to work on.
And it's okay to say, you know what, I hate the way you chew. It's just not going to work out. Be like, you know what, that's fine. Who cares?
And I mean, of course, we all have those difficult people in our lives. It could be family, it could be people we work with, but it's just a matter of like, don't make yourself uncomfortable to like accommodate them. You know what I mean?
Accommodate yourself first.
Yes, exactly.
Put yourself first.
I will say that though, you need to go about it in a healthy way.
Yes, don't be like a bitch about it. Be like, I don't like you.
Sometimes I think for your mental health, it's important to block people sometimes.
We're on the same wavelength.
If you really need to cut them the fuck out of your life, like
cut them out of your life.
Absolutely support that.
Unless it's your mom.
Well, you know, sometimes
I mean, don't like
not.
cut her out, but like you don't have to call her. Like me and my mom don't talk every day.
Yeah, but some
and
people's
okay.
moms are really shitty. So
then
if,
for sure,
if they're toxic to your life, yeah, block them, cut them the fuck off.
Totally fine.
Do it without a beat. Just do it. But also, if you're like me and your emotion takes over, rather than thinking or processing the moment before responding, don't block people out of
hate,
anger, or impulse or spite, because people take being blocked very seriously. And I have self-sabotaged and lost a lot of really great relationships over emotionally blocking people. Because I'm the kind of person that once I'm hurt, like I don't say anything, I'm just like cut off. And then I regret it later because I'm like, well, that's what we call an unhealthy blockage. You know,
think about it. Because people can see when you unblock them and then it just gets embarrassing. It's like you had a moment of weakness and you're like, oh, I've been blocked before.
I think we all have.
Have I ever told you that story?
No, tell me really quick. I want to hear it.
What was your story?
No, tell me really quick.
Oh, okay. So, I don't think this family listens to it, so it's okay. But, okay, 3 years ago, my Chase's older sister had a baby, and his older sister and his dad like don't have a good relationship for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, and I don't like, but she had this child, and his dad found out, but it wasn't from me. I didn't tell him. I don't talk to him, but I think communication, like it was like Halloween, and he called and he's like, "What do you guys do?" And we're like, "Oh, we're gonna go see so and the baby." And he's like, "Oh, all right." So he goes up to the hospital, and I'm working at the time, so it's like they were in the hospital for a couple of days because she had like an emergency C-section, whatever. It was like it was really hard. So he goes up to the hospital, and I have his wife, Chase's stepmom, calling me, and I'm like working. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like I'm working. What's up? And she goes, what's the code? And I was like, what do you mean code? I don't have a code for whatever reason. And she goes, well, we need a code to get into the hospital room. And I'm like, what? That's weird. I didn't know I could have a code. So Chase calls. Chase's dad calls and is like, hey, what's the code? Chase is like, what? He's like, what do you mean, what code? And he's like, hang on. So Chase calls his mom and he's like, what's the code? And she goes, well, I'll come get you. And he goes, no, what's the code? And she goes, no, I'll come get you.
So they really didn't want you to have that fucking code.
They did not want
is what I'm understanding.
Chase's dad to be at the hospital room at all.
Oh.
Like they did not no. So
they got beef with?
Oh, I don't know what it is, but they just like hate his dad.
Oh, so yes.
So I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. So It's a whole thing. Like, he's down if he does, he's down. Like, if he would have gone to the hospital, he got in trouble. If he didn't go to the hospital, he would have got in trouble.
That sucks.
So it's so bad to the point where, like, you know, when you get your birth certificate and you have to put your maiden name down?
Yeah.
She's like, why does it say Redford? Why does it say that? Like, why does it say this last name? Like, I hate this last name.
So they don't want any attachment.
No.
Okay.
So I'm like, damn. And then.
So you got blocked by affiliation?
Yes. So, and then, oh, I love this story. I told everyone, like, the first year it happened. So
it must have really pissed you off.
Oh, it did.
It grinded your gears.
Listen. Okay. So, like, a week. So, like, that night, I was like, we were leaving to go to my brother's baby's blessing in St. George. So I'm like, hey, mother-in-law, will you watch my animals? And she's like, yeah, whatever. So I'm like working. I get a text message from my mother-in-law and she goes, find someone to watch your animals. I'm not doing it. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay. I'm like, don't know what's going on. The next day I'm at work with Bitch Bonus Corey and I get this long message and it's like, you're a snake in the grass. Like, I can't believe you.
I remember this.
Like, what the hell? And I'm over here like, oh my God, like, what did I do? And Chase calls me after. He's like, don't listen to it. Like, don't take it to heart. I'm like, what do you mean don't take it to heart? Like, what the hell happened? And
you guys are like freshly married too.
Yeah, this was like our first year of marriage. Like, because we're in our apartment, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And he's like, don't listen. I'm like,
they always
this
say
is
that first
stupid.
year of marriage could be the most difficult.
Yeah, so I'm like, the fuck? And then, so because he said something to his mom, and she thought it was me. And I was like, nay, it was not me. So then Tristan, names, my bad. Sister-in-law, father-in-law, text sister-in-law and says like, how's the baby? Like, I hope you're doing well. Like, I miss and love you, whatever. And she texts back and says, I don't want you in my life. Leave me alone. Like, there's boundaries. Like, she set a boundary. Like, that's fine for her.
Like, well, that's like cutting them off.
Yeah. So I'm like, whatever.
That is a hard line in the sand.
I didn't text my dad that. Like, we just like had a mutual agreement of like, you fucked up. And then like, we had a line in the sand. And now I don't like. We're trying to get back to better. I don't really talk to him that much, but you know, it's like kind of getting better since I've had a kid. But like there was like a mutual thing with me and my dad. But like it was like he didn't know what happened. Like my dad knew what he did, and he even apologized. But like my father-in-law is like, "What the hell happened?" And she's like, "I hate you," and he's like, "I don't know what I did," and it's just like a whole mess. But so then Tristan's texting Chase and was like, you, like, we're not brother and sister, like, you're putting, like, a wedge in between us, and so he calls me, he's fumed, and this kid, if you know him, he does not swear at all, so I knew he was pissed, because he was like, what the fuck is going on? And
Your
I'm like,
husband?
Yeah.
Chase?
Yes. I'm like, what? I don't know, like, he's like, I had my sister text me this bullshit message, and I'm like, oh my God, babe, I'm sorry, like, I don't know what's happening. Like, this whole thing is like
kind of thrown into the middle of it.
It was like miscommunications all around.
Yeah.
So later, like it was around Thanksgiving at this point, and I didn't go to hit my in-laws for Thanksgiving because I'm like, I'm not going over there. I got yelled at for one. I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah.
And then like Chase was looking on his Snapchat and his little sister put on like a story, and I was like, I didn't get that. That's weird. So I'm looking on my Snapchat, and both him and his mom blocked me on Snapchat. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Okay, let me look up on Instagram. Blocked me on Instagram. All three of them blocked me on Instagram. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. So I looked on Facebook. All three of them blocked me on Facebook.
Yeah, that's not a good first year when all of your in-laws block you.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So I'm like, hey, babe. So you want to hear something weird? And he's like, what? I'm like, your family blocked me on all social media. And he's like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't know. I'm out of it. So good luck. See you later.
You took that more gracefully than I would have, because
like,
you know me.
I'm like, whatever. It's fine. I'm like, cool.
We're both Tauruses, and you're not as emotional as I am.
I think I'm more like, I think my house is like, I'm like, where am I? I need to figure out what my rising sun is, and like,
my rising
where
sun
my
is a Capricorn.
I need to figure out like more, because I'm like my birthday is like borderline Gemini. So I'm like the Taurus is like May 20th. It's cusp. Like
Yeah.
And I was born like that.
But if I would have been involved in that, I would have rage, fucking
but
rage.
I didn't want to. But like I like already bawled my eyes out
Yeah, you
when I
don't
got
wanna
my
make it
message.
worse.
So I'm like, you know what, whatever. And so he goes, and they're like, they were asking for. They were all nervous about you coming over. I'm like, cool, then don't yell at me and don't block me on social media. It's fine.
That's why, I am trying to be better going into this year because that's all been resolved with good communication.
Yeah.
Right?
So then like on Black Friday, that same like after that happens, I'm having a cat and shit.
Excuse me.
But after like Black Friday, we went and she goes, we see my mother-in-law. She's like, she's like, you think we're mad at you, you nerd? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah. Did you not see what happened? And she goes, you just need to apologize. And I was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, not to me. And I'm like, I ain't apologizing to anyone. I'm like, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. Like, I literally don't talk to Kevin that way. And I was the one that got, yeah, oh my God. Damn it. Who cares?
I'll bleep it.
Yeah, my father-in-law. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then we're about to leave to go get Christmas trees. And my mother-in-law goes, well, we can add, because I'm on Facebook looking at whatever. And she's like, we can add you back, I guess. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So like a couple months later, they added me back on Facebook. And then just, I think this year, so that was 3 years ago, my sister-in-law added me back on everything.
But see, that right there, Sarah, is the biggest difference between you and I. Because if my mother-in-law would have been like, oh, I guess we'll add you back, I literally would have probably responded in her face and been like, don't even fucking worry about it. And that's the sassy, snarky, smartass in me that I need to put a cap on sometimes. That's also why you want to think about it before you impulsively block somebody, because it's always embarrassing, like you were saying, to have to eat crow and add them back later. And I've done that dozens of times in 2021, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to do that It's anymore. always like,
It just like, to me,
The walk of
that
shame.
was like petty.
telling between your legs when you have to add them back.
I know, because I would look and I'm like, why can't I see my mother-in-law would tag her in something, but it wouldn't have her blue up? So like
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, it would just like be her name but not blued out. So I'm like, well, that's weird. I'm like, oh, I guess she hasn't added me back yet. Whatever. I'm like, I was over it, and then she added me and I was like, oh, that's weird. Add back. Okay, cool. But like, to me, I'm like, don't be petty.
Right.
Like, to me, that was just like weird and petty, and like it still kind of gets brought up, and I'm like,
So
and we
I
make
have a
joke
bad
about it
habit
now.
of being petty, and I want to make a solid distinction here. There's a difference between, standing up for yourself, setting a boundary, but also just like being petty. And
Yeah, like why'd you have to block me on everything because you missed communication of like saying to my father-in-law that the baby was born. Like, you should have set those boundaries before you had the kid and said, hey, I do not want Kevin, my God, my father-in-law.
you should have had.
Who cares what the names are?
Yeah.
Like, knowing what they want, because Chase got in trouble from his dad because Chase never told my father-in-law
She needed
that she was
to,
pregnant. He found out on someone else on Facebook, and that was a whole other thing too. And I'm like,
She
oh
needed
my
to
God.
take the time to have that conversation if she didn't want to have that big blow up at the hospital the day her baby was born.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think I've always said, like, my level of self-awareness is painful because I know I'm doing something ridiculous or toxic. I've been really trying to focus on, like, my shadow work and, like, get through, like, some of my unhealed past trauma, just because I do have, like, bad communication skills when it comes to the people who are closest to me. I've been single going on 3 years, and I still have recognized my toxic traits or the toxic behavior that I've displayed in situations or relationships.
But you are getting better.
I am getting better, but I'm tired of being like, oh, I'm self-aware of that and not doing anything about it. If I want change, I have to make those small changes.
Yes.
So I have really tried to work on my communication skills and being upfront with my needs and my thoughts. Like, someone asked me to go to Maverick for them on the way there, and I'm always like late to anything I go to, so I
Same.
always feel like I'm being rushed, and I I hate that anxiety. You know what I mean? Just people are waiting on me. I hate that feeling.
But if like someone asks you to do a favor on your way there, they shouldn't expect you to be there on time.
Well,
with you being stopped, like having to stop because you don't know how long the Maverick lines are.
But usually,
you don't know the traffic.
Usually, I would say yes, and this time I was like, no, I don't have time. I'm sorry. And that was hard for me to set that small boundary too, because I always want to help other people out where I can. But I always make my life harder in the process. I shouldn't say always, but I don't go or haven't gone about blocking people in the appropriate way in the sense that I had a falling out with my very, very good friend. And it took us a long time, 4 or 5 months to reconnect and finally have
a conversation,
a hard talk. You know what I mean? And she's so amazing, but she even threw that at me. She's like, oh, I guess the hard talks hippie doesn't like to have hard talks.
Oh, shit.
And I was just like, it is hard to look inward and take responsibility of the role that you play in things. And I think I kind of got lost in the sauce last year amidst losing my job and working so hard in production and momming and spreading myself too thin with too many things and too many people, that I was just really depressed, and I really let the ugly side of me come out. And I won't get into specifics as to what happened, but I wasn't a good friend. I wasn't there for her when she needed me. I wasn't there to lean on or to listen. And it takes 100% on both sides in any relationship or friendship to make it work, to make it thrive. And so we just grew more and more distant. And then I think a little resentment and jealousy grew. And I found myself blocking not only my best friend, but her fiance, her parents, who we both know.
Yep.
And that not only burnt a bridge with someone I cared so much about, but also
other people.
And it took a lot of setting my pride and stubbornness aside, because for me, in the moment, I was just kind of like, okay, like, if you're not going to reach out or be there for me, then just like, I'm done. I'm wiping my hands clean of it. And sometimes that's necessary.
Yeah.
But in this moment, it was it was an irrational blockage.
It was like one day you were having a really bad day and you saw her post and you're like, F you.
Well, I think we were both having a really bad day, and there was a phone call involved and a discussion that had been pent up over so long. And I didn't take it very well. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, fuck off then. And that is not healthy. It's not healthy for me. And I've done that, and that's trickled into relationships too. That's why that's why the universe has me where I'm at right now, because my person is not ready for me, and I'm still not ready for any said person.
No.
And I think that's the cool thing that I have been yet again self-aware about going into this new year, is like, you're right where you need to be, bitch. Stop trying to rush things. Stop trying to force things. All will happen in divine timing. But that being said, I've blocked someone else very special to me a lot.
Unblock. And she's like, oh my God, stop.
He has been on the show. I won't name names, but he's even talked about it, I think, on one of the episodes he was on. But he's like, this girl didn't have my number saved for the first 7 months that I knew her. And it's true, like, I didn't want to save his number because I was like, oh, it'll just be one more number to delete or block. And then I go back to that thought process, and I was like, how negative. I'm like basically setting that up for failure.
I never delete numbers. I might need it in the future.
Before, it's self-sabotage right there.
Yeah.
It's the will of the mind. If you put something out there, it's inevitable to happen. So that was just negative of me on my part. But I look back and I'm just like, oh, you're 26 years old, going on 56 years old, and you're still doing immature things.
You're still doing what a 12-year-old would do.
Well, yeah, I was letting my emotion drive everything, and that's something I'm trying to be really conscientious about going into this new year, because my emotion doesn't need to filter or be the driving force behind everything. You know what I mean? It's good that I love deeply and that I'm an emotional person, but on the flip side, like, I can't be making impulsive decisions because my feelings got hurt. You know what I mean?
Bobby broke up with me on the playground.
God damn it. Oh,
Goddamn Bobby.
I was a mean girl in early years of elementary school.
I can see it.
Me and I used to beat up the boys on the playground. I really did.
I thought so.
Yep. But that being said, I think that's like a big thing for me, is just like making small changes where I can, and having an honest, genuine, authentic me, Alicia, conversation, interaction with everyone I encounter. You know what I mean? I just, obviously we all have our bad days. Some days I feel like my life is fucking falling apart and it's a disaster and I'm a disaster.
But I mean, it's okay to like wait a while to have those conversations, because like, again, with me and my mother-in-law, we went out during 2020 and this happened in like 2018.
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely agreed. Like, sometimes time, if you're going to work things out, it's absolutely necessary. Me and my friend needed the time apart to come back together and be able to talk through and hash through all the bullshit, with a greater understanding and better perspective for one another.
We went paddleboarding together, and we had like, it was just me and her, and we had like a really good conversation about everything that's happened, and now we're at a really good place, like me and her.
Yeah.
And like, and
you're really close with her now that you have Caroline.
We were close, and then like that moment that happened, I was like, oh, I stepped back a lot. But then we had that really good conversation, just us together driving, because we had a 30-minute, like 20-minute drive that we had to go on to, just me and her. And so that really helped too. And now we're back to being closer.
Mm-hmm. Everything that you look for in a relationship with your significant other is still required in a friendship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to like have
quality
those hard
time.
talks.
Quality time with your mother-in-law. It may sound kind of squeamish to some people who might not get along, or like you used to get along with your in-laws. But again, like, quality time with anybody, it just brings you closer. And I don't know.
I mean, you don't have to, like, if it makes you squeamish, like, do it like once or twice a year just to make appearances and be like, we're here, I'm here, like, we're here. But like, don't make it a thing where if it makes you that uncomfortable, just be like, hey, I get uncomfortable. That's why I'm not around very much. Totally fine.
Yeah. Adding to shadow work and going through all my bullshit and
my bullshit.
Getting past it for reals. Like, getting past it. I mean, that's a hard thing about healing, though, from anything. You know what I mean? Like, the pain or that heartache, it comes and goes. I can't tell you how many times I've been frustrated where I think I'm over something and I'm like, why am I sad about this right now? I should be over it.
Yeah.
That sucks, and that's a bad position to put yourself in. You know what I mean? This year, I really want to focus my attention to really being honest with myself and holding myself accountable, but also being kind to myself and being patient and being like, you know what?
Those moments of frustration when I feel like I should be over something, I've had to remind myself that that's the hardest part of healing, is really feeling those emotions. And I've numbed out and pushed those feelings aside for so long that when they come up randomly, I have to be kind to myself and more understanding as to why. There's no time limit in healing or getting over something, and it's really unfair expectation. And that's what I mean, an unfair place to put ourselves in, because how unfair is it to rush our own healing process? I've just learned that that's something I can't be frustrated with fucked myself over. You know what I mean? It's just being able to look at myself in the mirror, take accountability of all the roles and every aspect that I play in my life, and being okay with it. You know what I mean? If I didn't like something that I did today, then I'll change it tomorrow.
You can always come back to the drawing board at the end of the day and be like, man, tomorrow's a new opportunity to do better.
And we're only human.
Yeah, and
humans can only literally do so much.
I just called myself the fuck out, you know what I mean? But I'm able to spin it in a positive way because I'm like, man, like I'm in my mid-20s and I'm still learning something new about myself and the world around me and how I fit into that somehow every single day.
And that's rad, and that's how I'm able to have continual PMA, positive mental attitude.
I mean, we're still, like, no matter how old we get, we're just going to be like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Like, we're always learning because, like, the world is evolving.
I dare you to go home and check yourself out naked today.
I do all the time. I told you I do.
I
just don't like looking at my vagina.
Yeah.
It freaks me out.
I don't take a mirror down there either and check it
out. I can't even touch myself at this point, so why would I look at it?
What?
I feel weird. That's just like me growing up, though.
It's never too late to expand your horizons.
I mean, when I'm in the moment and me and Chase are getting down, I'm like, let's do it. But if like before, I'm just like,
I need the foreplay.
I can't touch it.
I need the
No,
foreplay.
I love when when he does it, but I can't do it to myself.
Can't do it yourself. Oh, I like to feel a little dirty and grimy, like I'm a nasty little girl.
I think about it, I'm like, I'm gonna try it, and then I'm like, ooh, maybe that just looks weird, and he doesn't think that's attractive.
No,
but then
you gotta get out of your head.
But then he goes, babe, like
you just
he's
gotta
like,
feel. Just feel your body.
I just don't want to be weird. But then he's like, I don't want to. So like the miscommunication. Me and Chase had the miscommunication, and we're getting down because I'm like, I don't want to be too weird. But he's like, I don't want to be too weird. But I'm like, oh, I would love that. And he's like, well, I would love that. So then I'm like,
I'll have to
I'll
have to make a suggestion to you when we're not filming or recording anymore. But it'll change your life.
Let's do it.
Maybe just do it once. But before we wrap it up, you got to try it at least once. Not giving any context, but yeah.
Use your imagination.
Looking inward is hard. Calling yourself out is hard.
It is hard. So hard.
You know, I went into this episode not having any resolutions or goals, but I think I set some for myself this episode.
Just small ones. Yeah. Like just easy ones that you can work on every day, no matter. Like,
be a good person.
Like you can like keep working on. Like it's not gonna take you a year to do it. Like do like a couple. It's like a couple year resolution, not like I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah.
I ain't.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, right here, I ain't going to the gym. I don't gym. I don't work out. I don't. And that's just me. Everyone's like, I want to get healthy, do this. I'm like,
I meditated this morning. That's
like,
not exercise, but it was definitely a good workout for my mind.
There you go.
I need to. That's also something I've been trying to learn and unlearn a lot of things about myself and, you know, just
get it.
I need to, you know, slow my brain down sometimes because I overwhelm myself. Like
you do.
The day that our computer broke, I was having a panic attack in my brain, but on the outside it's like smile, fake it till you make it. And I hate that phrase. You want to know why? Because we shouldn't have to fucking fake it.
Let people see the tears. Be real. That's what connects you with people.
Yeah, and sometimes you're like imploding inside. Like it's okay to ask for help. And when I finally did, like, thank God, you know, everything
the universe supplies.
Everything worked out. And you know, it's hard not to put so much on your own shoulders sometimes, but
you need to work on that.
It's okay to take a beat, take a breather.
It's okay to ask for help.
And actually really fucking reflect. We're in this new year. It's really such a good thing to look back on your fucking growth and, you know, just transcend to the best version of ourselves. That's all we're doing every single day. We're just learning. We're all just kids in older bodies.
That's true.
It is true. My grandma still says she feels like she's 21 until she bends over.
Tell me
and I
about
think
it.
That's true. As long as you have a young state of mind, like you'll be young at heart forever.
Heck yeah.
It's a matter of perspective.
Mind over matter.
That being said, folks, I hope you have a great weekend. Be smart. Stay wise. Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Which in this case is a walks up a kid now. So,
and she's gonna go to a rave soon. We're gonna pop Sarah's cherry.
And Chase.
That'll be interesting.
That will. He wants to go though.
We'll take
it
videos.
It has to be after she's a year old though, because I'm gonna try to wean her at a year.
Oh,
it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna try to do it.
Wiener, like breastfeeding wise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to like do drugs.
Well, no, but like I want to have fun. Like, well, I'm just saying because like she's hard to go to sleep at night without me. That's what I'm saying. So I want to be able to be out and not have to worry about her. Not like doing drugs or like drinking. I just want to make sure that she's okay and can go to sleep without me being next to her.
You could set boundaries with your own kids too, you guys.
Yeah.
Even when they're young. So if you want to start weaning her off at 6 months, try and aim for
Absolutely not.
Try aiming for your first grandparent sleepover at 6 months.
Ooh.
She's in good hands.
No,
it's the mom guilt. It's the mom guilt that gets you because at first you're like, yes, let's go. Let's have a good time. And then as soon as you're in the car on your way, you're like, is my baby going to be okay? Am I a bad mom for going out and having a good time? Am I a bad mom for having my own identity? Trust me.
You don't have an identity. I'm Caroline's mom.
No, you're not. You're our favorite blonde Sarah.
I am. On here, I'm everybody's favorite blonde, but out in the real world, I'm just Caroline's mom.
No.
I'm just kidding.
You got it. She's going to work on that this week, you guys.
I love being
Sarah's
Caroline's
on the path
mom.
to rediscovering
I'll be
who
Caroline's
she
mom
is.
until she's a year old. Not my own identity. I'm waiting for that year mark, you know? I love her.
Anyways, you guys, we will see you next weekend. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Glad you bye. Hard dog,
Yeah.